elevator music is making me crack up. Well,
It's so weird.
so weird. Top of the Monday to you. Happy
Yeah,
St.
I'm not
Patty's.
wearing any green. Pinch
I
me,
am.
pinch me.
I have green. Oh, you're wearing. It looks like a green shirt. It looks
No, it's
olivey.
gray. It's gray.
Well, you could have fooled me. I'll pinch you from here. Pinch, pinch, pinch. I had on a green sequin dress today, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gorgeous." Blah blah blah. But yes, this is technically green. I'll show you guys. Look, see, it's kind of green. It's hard to do. But my eyes are green. And then I got my hair
You always
done.
have the green eye makeup.
Well, no, today I did gold.
Okay.
I went gold because it was so green. But I got look how different the lighting went. I got my hair done Saturday because my mom was like, "Oh yeah, Heather, I know that you're going on a Broadway cruise soon, and I know you want to get your hair done." So she gave me her appointment. My hair is stick straight, but y'all, it is like red. So I'm going back Wednesday. But well, welcome to the Broadway Fan Club. Hello, everybody. It's Monday. It is the Mondayest Monday in a long time.
It is a very Monday.
It is a very Monday. My tinnitus from this concussion has been like awful this past week. Amber is getting an ear infection. We're just all having a day. So we hope that you guys are having a better day than us. We'll be all right. Jeff Cohen, hello, my friend. Comment on Operation Mincemeat. I do not understand shows that have a clock as part of the scenery and it doesn't move. Jeff, we're going to get to that and so much more because it's just me and Amber tonight. That's the best part. I love our special guests. We have been so fortunate to be able to bring on some amazing special guests. But like when Amber and I do our shows together and it's just us, I'm like, this is like my time to catch up with my friend, catch up with you guys. And we got such a sweet comment from Lucy Spring today. And I don't know if you saw it, Amber, but she had messaged over to the Broadway Fan Club page. And she said, "Who was that?" There's pterodactyl in your house. But she had commented asking if we had a show tonight. And I said, yes, of course. I said, but it's just me and Amber. So, there are no special guests. She's like, no, that's okay. I look forward to it. She looks forward to us every Monday. So Lucy, thank you so much.
Yay.
Yeah, we love you. That's what we're here for. Like, I love the fact that you love us just for who we are and not for the cool people that we know. So thank you. Hopefully we don't disappoint you. But there has been some crazy Broadway stuff happening. I know Amber is loading our show onto all of our groups. We have new groups too, guys. We have so many new groups. We have started an Evita fan group. Our dear friend Larry Lelly is going to be on the production team over there for the West End.
I was just going to say, that's right. We're not just Broadway anymore, guys. We are also West End shows.
Yeah, don't worry for the West End like fan group pages and stuff. We're not trying to take over, but we do want to offer platforms for all of our friends all over the place. But it's always fun. I think I'm going to do like housekeeping, like 101 while you're sharing to all of our groups. Because there's so much going on. Also started a Jonathan Larson project page. Very excited about that. I had the pleasure of seeing it. We'll talk all about that. We really haven't caught up show-wise in like a couple of weeks. So we'll go over Operation Mincemeat. What?
I'm not admin in Heather's.
I will fix that right now. Hi, Cheyenne Cook. Well, good evening, one and all. Hello. Hello, my dear. So, of course, people are blowing me up. Guys, I am prepping for this Broadway cruise like no other. And people are just like, can you do this? Can you do this? And I'm like, you would think that I work for the company. I do not. All right. But let's do some housekeeping. Hold on as I add Amber to make sure she's admin of the Heathers fan group, which has been sitting there so incredibly patient for the last, 6 months.
We're getting some bits and news and stuff here and there.
There's a lot of stuff. We just did their open call.
Right.
Oh my God, the Heathers fan club has been open for 7 months, Amber?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, how am I not?
Okay. Well, it's done now. Jeffrey Cohen. Every time we say Jeffrey, you say call me Jeff. Every time we say Jeff, you say Jeffrey. So we're just gonna call you Mr. Cohen. But we appreciate you. We had brunch with Jeffrey, what, 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago?
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a blast. We all
Yeah.
saw some great shows. We saw some great shows.
Yes, we did. Amber cried. I kind of cried. It was great.
I am still crying while I am listening to the
Obsessively
soundtrack.
listen to the cast recording. Maybe happy ending.
I obsessive. Like I can't even tell you how many times I have listened to that already. It's like already in my favorites.
Hold on. Jeffrey, Cheyenne Cook says, I say call him hey you. Let me tell you, this man is so much fun to be around. Yes, we were over at our friends, the D'Angoras over at West Bank Cafe and had brunch, and I had bottomless drinks because it was $15 for bottomless mimosas. Why not? Yeah, so just to kind of give you guys a reminder, fresh crash course here. All of our fan groups can be found on www.thebroadwayfanclub.com. We now have over 80. Let me tell you the groups that are blowing up right now. Right now, Cabaret, especially, and we'll get into that with Broadway news, especially with Adam Lambert's and Ali Carvalho's soon-to-be departure, and Eva Noblezada when Orville Peck coming in. So much news going on today. Cannot wait to dive way deep into that. But also Boop is blowing up. Smash is blowing up. So if there is a show that's here or coming soon, check out our link tree on the BroadwayFanClub.com. You will see every single group and then some. You know what we haven't pushed in a while, Amber? Our bracelets.
Our bracelets, it's true.
Should I pull up the picture of Herbie and what you sent me last night?
Yes, you absolutely should.
Yeah. So, as you guys may have remembered, I was just up in Connecticut visiting Amber, and she is fostering for how much longer? Like another month and a half?
Like another month and a half, yeah. Just until he's ready, big enough, and
but so she has like Mama Kitty, who was originally called Bernadette, right?
Originally Bernadette, yes.
And apparently you have ghosts in your house because Jimmy is laughing hard. We just have to teach him that when you're on a podcast, he needs to just put a ball gag in or something. Right. But so you've got the cat that came in was Bernadette. And then Bernadette turned into Mama Rose because of your gypsy fandom, which I love. And we were going through all these different names. Like, okay, well, if there's this many kittens, you're going to have a this, and you're going to have a this. And there was one kitty, and he's so stupid cute, and his name is Herbie.
A little boy, so he's got to be Herbie.
Oh my God, I'm still scrolling for this picture. Amber just randomly sent me this last night. She was like, do you think he'll sell our bracelets for us? It's stupid cute. But when I was there, he was, what, 11 ounces or something? Like just under a pound.
Yeah, now he's like a whopping 14.
Hold on, I just found it. Okay, so prepare yourselves for the extremely cuteness. Holy moly, let me show you. Let me introduce the world of the Broadway Fan Club to the world of the cutest little kitty, this side of social media. Everybody meet Herbie.
Herbie.
He's so cute, and he's such a good model. Which bracelet was this that you made for his necklace?
This was actually a custom piece just for Herbie, where I was making bracelets, and I was like, wait a minute, I need to make one for the cat to model.
Look at that face. He's got, I'm going to go into a good Jewish move. He's got such a punum. But look at that face. He's so cute. Yes, Lucy goes, oh my God, freaking adorable. He will also be available for adoption in like what, a month, 2 months?
In like a month and a half, 2 months, yeah.
Which is nuts. Here, you guys don't have to look at my Facebook page anymore. But yes, I was like, oh my God. So if you guys are looking for, like Amber just said, custom bracelets. Now you're
sorry. That's my laundry.
Well, guess you gotta send the roommate out to go get it. But
I know. I was just thinking that.
If you guys look for or looking for custom bracelets for birthdays, anniversaries, you're going to go stage door show in New York or your local theater or theater productions, we can make them custom. But guys, we have over 100 different designs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We have our collaboration with Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, where $1 from each one of our bracelet sales goes directly to Broadway Cares. And bracelets are what, $9 now?
They're $10.
$10. Still super good, extremely high quality. You might get some little gifts here and there thrown in as well. But yeah, so we love that. So make sure, and that's also on our fan page or here you go. Our website. Those are the words I wanted to say. So you can also find our Etsy page right there, or you can go to this is the concussion, https://thebroadwayfanclub.etsy.com. To also remind you guys, we have some incredible partnerships with different hotels in Times Square. We get asked all the time, where should I stay? Well, the W Times Square E7103 is the cluster code you want to put in, or you can also do that at the Westin Times Square. And we are currently working on getting a promotion with one of my new favorite places, which was kind of, I had kind of a weird situation happen, but I wound up having a really wonderful stay, and we'll get more into that later in the show. Yeah. Also, our brand new partners, we're going to start talking more about it. You guys heard the interview a week and a half ago-ish, a week ago. I don't know. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we had Gina Duvall on the show. And so we are working now with Broadway Weekends. So go check out BroadwayWeekends.com. We will be putting up the commercials soon as well. So make sure you check out that episode as well. Amber, have I rattled on long enough for you to get?
Honestly, I still have a quarter. We have so many groups, girl.
I love it. Okay, hold on. Cheyenne, I'm reading through this. Cheyenne says, in the words of the abominable snowman in Bugs Bunny, and I will love him and squeeze him and name him George. Yes, or her.
I was going to say, we can talk about our show weekend, because you were in the city a day before me, so you saw shows.
Let me tell you.
You got to see shows that I didn't get to see.
Yeah, well, I saw The Outsiders. Freaking finally.
Right.
What else did I see?
Mincemeat.
Yes, I saw Operation Mincemeat. I think we talked about that a little bit, how the random guy was like, hey, my wife can't come if you want to join. And I was like, yes, we'll talk about Mincemeat for sure. Christopher Levy, you know this. How many times do I say, yes, I'm recovering from a concussion from September. So that's why I look like this all the time. But yeah, we'll definitely talk Operation Mincemeat. That is definitely on the top of the list. Let's see. Outsiders, Operation Mincemeat. Oh yeah, there was that one night. That's the first Saturday night. I was gonna go do a show, and instead of doing a show, my buddy Ming Chen was in the city. Shout out to Ming.
Oh right.
Shared Universe podcast. If you want to check him out, or if the name sounds familiar, he is comic book man and Kevin Smith's right hand man. But yeah, so we had a trampling around the city. We talked a little bit about this because that's when we went to Red Eye, which is this really cool gay bar. That's kind of like a speakeasy. They've got all sorts of stuff, and they brew. And I'm not a coffee person. They brew their own coffee and make espresso martinis. And I was like, oh, I don't really know. I'm not an espresso martini fan. Let me tell y'all, it was like drinking ice cream. It was so freaking good. But yeah, so I did that, and then I did Operation Mincemeat matinee, because that was the night of the Tonys. Listen to me, the Oscars, and that's when they took the train in to see you. And then when I came back, I did The Outsiders. What else did I do besides our show day? This is my brain. This is my brain on a concussion.
You were going to do Little Shop, but you couldn't get in.
Couldn't get into Little Shop.
So you did The Outsiders instead.
Yes.
And then I think
I'm looking back through my marquee pictures. I had a lot of shows that I shoved in, but I did Ed and Juliet.
Oh, right. Joey.
I went back for Ed and Juliet.
The hoodie. The hoodie.
My comfy hoodie. I love Aunt Juliet. But yeah, let's start from the top. Literally, guys, I'm looking through, like, I take a picture of my playbill or the marquee for every show, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Okay, so that's where it was with that. So yeah, let's talk mincemeat. Let's talk mincemeat. Yeah. Amber has not seen it yet. They came over, they have like all these Olivier Awards, which is fantastic. If you don't know the Olivier Awards, and Chris Levy can also kind of go into it, because he is a genius when it comes to it. Pretty much it's like a fancier version of the Tony Awards. So it's the West End awards. So Operation Mincemeat, if you don't know the premises, and there's no spoiler alerts, like I'm not going to give away the story, but it is based off of the true story. This is 100% true story. I say it like this because obviously there's no singing in the history books that we know of. But it is based off of what England did to kind of scare off the Nazis from Sicily and have them make their troops leave. So it's based off of like all sorts of military things and you can look this up. I'm gonna try to see if I can give a synopsis that's not spoilery. Let's see. I'm going to go to their official website. And yes, we actually do run the fan group as well. But while I'm pulling this up, did you guys know that it is based off of a movie as well and a book? But they were originally supposed to be here for a limited run of 8 weeks? That it was 12 weeks.
I think it was 16 weeks.
Okay. Because it was like, okay, we extended. Now they're extended like another 20 weeks, right?
Right. So at first it was 16, then they extended to 20. Now they extended again to 24.
It is incredible. Here, I'm going to give you the synopsis online. Operation Mincemeat was a successful British deception operation of the Second World War to disguise the 1943 Allied invasion of Sicily. 2 members of British intelligence obtained the body of Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man who died from eating rat poison, dressed him as an officer of the Royal Marines, and placed personal items on him, identifying him as the fictitious captain or acting major William Martin. And it's incredible. So it's not based off of the film. It is based on true events, but they're not connected to the film. But it is...
I can't wait to see it.
It's freaking hysterical. Yes, Lucy, so glad Mincemeat's doing well, especially this. Live for original musicals. Love, I think is what you meant. But yes, you kind of have to have a sick, twisted sense of humor because they're like, this dead guy, we're going to do this. But it's also like, oh God, I can't think of his name.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Huh?
Is it kind of like Weekend at Bernie's?
No, not necessarily. Weekend at Bernie's is very much like you saw, like the corpse being walked around. This is like what they've done, and like there's a deeper story to it of like, oh my God, like how do we know who this dead man is that we're now like, pretty much looking like he like crashed his airplane into Sicily. Yeah. And it's just incredibly insane. But Ian Fleming, the guy who created James Bond, was involved with this whole thing. Amazing. And yes, Mr. Cohen, 5 actors playing 50 plus roles. That's accurate. And they're constantly rotating. There's like no sex. That sounds terrible. No sexual orientation on stage. So someone female presenting might be playing male presenting might be, but you sit there and it's like watching them just put on different hats, like Gutenberg. Like they're just playing so many different things. The voices are incredible. The comedic timing is just, I can't imagine. I was talking to Davey, who created the show, and he's also star of a show at Stage Door, and I was like, how do you do this? It's just blah, 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 blah. So it's a cool show. The music's kind of catchy. It's kind of like, it's very relevant for today's politics as well. I will put it to you that way. But the cast is so damn talented, and it's laugh out loud. But then there's literally a scene. This is the only thing I'm going to give you. When you come back for Act 2, they open up, and I know that Jeffrey was talking about the set design, and I know Chris was talking about it, like where there's a clock and there's nothing moving on it. And that's okay. It just to symbolize kind of like, this is happening. You're in like an office environment. But now all of a sudden, Act 2, the stage opens, or the curtains open, and it's like you're in like a Britney Spears music video. And they're dancing and they're in like sequin Nazi outfits. This is now the second show on Broadway currently running that has Nazis in it. It's great. So great. But they're doing this full like German techno pop song dance. And it's fun. And you're like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, because that's a hell of a way to open up a show, for the second act. And then they just like one of the performers stops, looks like deadpan into the audience, is like, really, like you're laughing at this context, but it's not a cabaret style of like where people are laughing. And Adam Lambert is like, very rightfully saying like, oh, we're not doing that. This is like a tongue in cheek of like, okay, you can cheer for us because like that was really stupid. That would never actually happen. But it's really interesting, and I think it's a fascinating way to learn, historical information. Very much like Seth's, very much like Hamilton, but it's not done in like a very dramatic way. It's very playful because it's a really weird situation. It was fantastic. So, okay, that was Operation Mincemeat. I see lots of stuff is going off in the comments. Let's read. I mean, hats off to the Nazis. They gave us some terrific Broadway musicals. Sound of Music. That's true. Sound of Music. Producers, Cabaret, and Mincemeat. That's true. That is very true.
That is very true.
And it's all fleeing the Nazis. But yeah, so it was definitely a show. Would I see it again? Hell yes. I said second row center. I'm going to suggest, especially for that show, it's not huge set designs, but you can certainly sit further back. You're not really going to miss anything. There's not like massive set changes. It's pretty stagnant until the very final scene. So I think wherever you sit is okay. Yes, like extreme house right or extreme house left, you might have partial view of something, but you're really not going to miss much. So that was Mincemeat. Let's see. What should I go into?
I think we got to talk about The Outsiders since one of us has finally seen it.
So here's my thing with The Outsiders. I loved it. But I did not, and you guys can attest to this that have been paying attention. Also, can you believe that we're almost at a year for this lovely podcast of ours, which is incredible. Thank you, Amber, for being the best co-host ever in the entire universe. But I really did not understand the hype leading up to the Tony Awards. And I'm like, yeah, no, great. I love Greasers and I love it. This is great. And like, I've seen the movie and I've read part of the book, but I'm like, I don't get it. It's not going to translate on stage. I'm like, oh, the people are just going crazy because it's a lot of attractive looking guys. It was, thanks, Lucy. Lucy says congratulations to us. Don't worry. There's a big celebration happening soon. But the best way of putting it is it's a really fucked up story. Let's just put it out that way. If you've seen the movie, which has launched several careers of several well-known actors, if you've read the book, you know what the story is about. I was very fortunate. So I tried rushing the show a couple of times, like Samantha Setter and a couple of our other incredible members are like, have you not seen The Outsiders yet? Go see The Outsiders. And I'm like, it's so expensive. It's like $800 for resale tickets. It's so crazy. And I've tried rushing it. And like, unless you're there at 5 o'clock in the morning and you are rushing and you're sitting there and the box office opens at 10 or 11 or 12, there might not even be a rush ticket.
Right.
I rushed it once and Amber was on the phone with me. And I was like, I'm like number 10 online. They were already sold out for both shows that day. Mm-hmm. So fortunately, I was at a hotel directly across the street from the theater. And like 6:30, I'm scrolling, and I love using. And we're not sponsored by TickPick, but I will say, I have used TickPick, TickPick, for years for everything. They are a really good third-party app. They do not charge you when you purchase the ticket, like whatever kind of subsidized fees or kind of whatever fees. They will very much like that goes to the seller, which is fine. But somebody had like a right mez ticket for Outsiders for $111. And I said, if it's not bad for Outsiders and like it's still had the hype hasn't calmed down since the Tonys, and like it's still got this incredible, like there's somebody in one of the Outsiders fan groups. We don't run those because we want to be able to effectively talk about the show and we don't want to compete. We're friends with all these people. But somebody's seen the show like 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times. One of our Drag the Musical members, Amber, I don't know if you saw it, he's seen Drag 35 times, which is incredible. So we celebrate it. We love the let me put Mr. Cohen. I'll put it into the chat here. So I was like, I don't know how the theater is because Jacobs is kind of like on a pitch and it has raked seating. If you guys don't know what raked seating is, it's kind of like auditorium seating, but it's a little bit more focused. So you definitely feel it. Definitely feel it over at the Lunt. If you've ever seen Sweeney Todd or if you've seen Death Becomes Her or anything that's been at the Lunt, you're sitting in a seat and you're kind of pitched forward. So I was really skeptical and hesitant because one, I'm not supposed to have like vertigo from a concussion and, my knee's bad, my back is bad because of the accident. Fine, sorry to bring in the personal stuff, but I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I went in, I spoke to the lovely house manager and I said, look, I know you guys are sold out. Can I at least go look to see how the seat is? Because I don't want to take the seat away from somebody if I can't personally sit there, but I definitely don't want to like feel ill or something. She's like, yes, so not a problem at all. Guys, if you need something, the house manager, that is your first point of contact. Don't hesitate to ask. I know that we talked to Jeffrey about it too. He just recently had surgery and it's like, if you can't go to your seat or you can't feel comfortable, ask the house manager. So she said, look, go check it out. Let me know how you feel. We'll figure something out. If anything, we can pass date it for another day. Pass dating means that as long as there's availability, you can actually get a seat for another time. Well, yes, I understand that, but the seat might still be the same. She's like, come back and let me know. So I went up, and the minute I got up there, I felt like I was falling forward. And that's a bad feeling, especially before the show. So I get to the seat and I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like five stories that way, like 5 like double steps up. And I'm like, that's not happening, but thank you. So I went back down and I talked to the house manager. I said, thank you for letting me check, but it's not going to work. And she said, not a problem. I have one seat available over here. And it was right next to the sound booth. Okay, great. There were 2 teenage girls that were like sprawled over the place and they didn't want to get up and they were like throwing a fit when their dad made them get up. I said, you know what? It's okay. I don't want to inconvenience you guys. And I was honestly ready to be like, you know what? I'll pass seat it or like, it's fine. Like not a big deal. And I went over to the box office to do just that. And the lovely box office was like, hey, it's like 10 minutes before show. We have a seat for you. Guys, I sat like almost in an orchestra. And I sat there with my jaw open the entire time. Probably one of the more well-behaved audiences. I'm always very hyper aware, especially now, of like people using their phone, which Amber and I will talk about too, because maybe Happy Ending and Redwood, oh, forget it. Or they were, crumpling their snacks or whatever. None of it. They were so focused on this story. The set design is really uniquely used. I was really impressed with the choreography. Yes, everybody that's seen like their Tony's performance where they're dancing in the rain or fighting in the rain, it's beautiful. But there's also small moments where like they're running and they have plywood or like slats of wood and the way that the wood is turned and being used in the lighting, it's incredible. I've never seen any kind of choreography like it. The music is, uplifting for points and sad for other points. The performances to do that show on a regular basis, I think would just knock people out. It takes you out. But it was so freaking beautiful to see. And I'm definitely on the Outsiders train. Like, choo choo, baby. Like, let's do this. Stage doored. I had, Brody was not on for Pony Boy, which was fine. And stage doored, and like everybody at the stage door was so nice. The weirdest thing that happened is the wind picked up because it was so windy. Oh my God. Like you could lean into it and you were not moving. The wind picked up and everyone kind of got like street sand in our faces, but everybody was so nice. And I think at one point, one of the guys had been asked, like, what kind of advice would you give to go to Broadway? And even with the short-term memory with my concussion, I still remember he was talking about if Broadway is your final destination, you're not in it for the right reasons. Don't go into this thinking that Broadway is it. Understand that there are so many other opportunities. And if you're only thinking about Broadway, you're not in it for the right reason. And just was like, but was nice about it. And the girl was like, yeah, no, it makes sense. And I love that. I love when performers are taking their time at the stage door to have conversations with people, to be able to talk about, hey, you know, this is this, or focus on this, or like learn about this. And I think that's really sweet. That's what I like watching at the stage door. I don't care about the autographs. I never take a selfie. Like, that's not my thing. But to have moments and conversations, they're very personal. And I think that's really unique and fantastic. And I love it. So there's my rambling. And I'm reading through everybody. Amber, are you caught up now?
I am.
Okay, good. Let's see. Oh, Lucy says, yes, I seriously can't see it because it's so expensive and I can't just justify sitting outside at 5 a.m. I agree. And I love it. In-person rush. I agree. So much. It's just crazy how expensive they've gotten, but good for them, I guess. Yes. But Lucy, literally go check out TickPick. When I'm telling you, there were like 18 different seats between like $100. And even for the following day, they were like $79. If you don't have an issue sitting like on a little bit of a pitch, go see it. If you can afford that, like, I don't know your financial situation, but like if you can, use that. And maybe I'll reach out to TickPick and be like, sponsor us, because I love them so much. Olivia said, something similar happened at Smash when I went, but luckily there was someone who was willing to switch tickets and seats with that person. Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. So, all right. Amber, want to get into some news?
I feel like we should just keep talking about shows because, man, do I want to talk about Maybe Happy Ending.
Okay, fine. Oh, here, Chris Levy says, I once stood outside the O'Neill in a snowstorm, I believe it, for 4 hours to see Spring Awakening. Smart man. And got the last rush seat. I was much younger then. Oh, Chris, you're only like 20 now, right? I will tell you, the last seat I got in-house, it wasn't a rush seat, but it's my favorite Sweeney Todd story, is I wanted to be there for first preview because I had just started the fan group. It's kind of the group. I mean, it's literally the group that got Amber and I together and kind of propelled all of this. But I wanted to be there for first preview. And I'm like, okay, seats, there's no seats. Okay, there's seats. There was one seat left. And it was like a wheelchair companion seat. And nobody could purchase it. So I contacted, I think it was Broadway Direct that did it. And they said, yeah, no, it's the one seat. If you want it, it's yours. I said, yeah, but it won't let me book online. They actually made the reservation or the ticket purchase at the box office. And then when I went to pick it up at the box office, it was like $30 more. And I still bought it. But I reached out to Broadway Direct and I was like, yeah, the price that you guys sent me, like they charged me more. And they're like, here's a check. They sent me a check for the difference, which I thought was incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Olivia said, I got orchestra for Smash for $45. Girl, they're out there. The prices are out there. You just have to kind of navigate. I feel like Cabaret, especially, we'll get into that in a second, is going to get like crazy for a hot minute between
I agree.
show. I saw somebody was selling a ticket. They bought the ticket for $800 for like orchestra. And I think it's going to get crazier in the transitional process too.
Right. I agree.
Yes. Oh, the who's who. Yes. Jeffrey loves the bios for Maybe Happy Ending. But yeah, so that was that. And then Amber and I had a 2-show day and we had a cookie hour with the lovely Olivia. And that was a lot of fun. We had a good time with that. I offered my cookie to some of the cast of Moulin Rouge.
Yes, that was fun.
I have no shame. Whatsoever. Well, they were trying to decide between the cookie that I was currently eating or like another cookie. I was like, you can try mine. I have no, whatever. Like
Take a bite. Take a bite.
It's fine. I have no shame.
Take a bite.
Yes. Take a bite. I'm like, let me get your DNA sample. That's weird.
So let me tell you guys, when I say I literally bought my Maybe Happy Ending tickets in September.
Yeah, you did. Because you were like, I saw it and you're like, yeah, I got 2 tickets. I was like, well, I'm going to come back with you.
in September. So I have been waiting to see this show since then. And like I would have gone to see this show sooner, but like first off, I try to like limit my trips into the city because it's expensive. And then like second off, the show has just taken off in such a way that tickets are now so incredibly hard to get. Tickets
Yes.
are like outsiders
Yes.
level of trying to get maybe happy ending tickets.
And I honestly am gonna say it's because they switched social media teams.
Yeah, they're doing incredible. And just the show, the word of mouth, I think people have really just enjoying the show
I think it
that
also shows.
much.
I think. Oh yeah, I think it shows a need for like that original content. It's a
Mm-hmm.
show that's Korean. It's something unique. You know, they bill it as and I'm going to ask you directly because we really haven't talked about it. They bill it as a high tech show.
Right.
Do you consider it a high tech show?
I don't think so. I think it's a very simplistic show.
Yes. I will say the set design, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, it's so crazy. A friend of the show, Michael Uslan, who also like brought Batman to the cinema, and who also produced Dan Fogler in The Boy Who Loved Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they use the exact same set design. So yes, if you sit on an extreme side, we actually sat a little bit house left.
Right.
And we really didn't miss much, but everything does kind of take place center stage. But what you're looking at is either her apartment or his apartment. And there's not a lot that's going on in those, so you don't really need to worry about that as much. But
Yeah.
go on.
Oh, I'm just reading Chris Levy's comment. Full of $29 maybe happy ending tickets, and I thought if they can't give away, it must not be any good. And I'm so angry at myself for going to see then Tammy Faye instead.
I remember because I told him to go to Maybe Happy Ending. And Lucy actually said Catherine Quinn and that Sneaky Show Business. Catherine Quinn is not over Maybe Happy Ending.
Yes, she is. Yes,
Is she over it now?
She's
Because I thought it was Aaron for a hot minute. Okay.
No.
Okay. Because I thought Aaron Meyer took it over. So yeah, originally it was actually Super Awesome Friends, which was Jim Glaub, who did social media team for Water for Elephants. Who was kind enough to extend the invite for us for opening night. But yeah, I mean, Catherine Quinn has her own unique style, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're trying to diligently find a way for us to collaborate because what she does is so different than what we do. But there's like a happy meeting in between, so it's going to be really unique to see.
Absolutely. So I have been like really looking forward to seeing the show since September, and like everyone was saying, like there was that kind of gray area for a minute where people were like, will this show stay open? Like,
they thought it
will
had
this
no
show
legs.
close?
Yeah.
Because it just didn't really have that momentum until this new social media team took over for them. And thank God that I was able to see this show because it is my new favorite. And I'm so happy that we saw it merely days away from the cast recording being released. So I can like
you would have lost your mind if you saw it in September and had to wait.
And I had to wait for the cast recording. Yeah, absolutely. We planned it perfectly.
Hi, girls, by the way. Hi, Dad.
Oh, hi, Dad.
In the show. Right. I already told him this weekend when I saw him. I said, "You're doing the podcast with us one of these nights." He's in. Well, here's the thing too: is that it was so. And Amber is a self-proclaimed spoiler lover.
I do. I love the spoiler.
She will literally be like, no, tell me everything. Tell me everything. And so I was like, okay, well, do you want me to tell you about Maybe Happy? And she's like, no, I don't want to know anything. And I was like, it's so hard because we're so used to now, if she sees a show without me or I see a show without her, we're immediately on the phone. We're like, blah, 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 blah. And this happened. Da, 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 and I can't wait for you to see this part and this part. And I was like, I can't. So, and even when Gina Duvall was on the show a couple weeks ago, she had seen it, and I was like, I can't say anything, but all I can say is like fireflies. And I think Amber gets that reference right now. That is by far amazing. But yeah, so as a first timer to the show, Amber, did you feel like it's a unique story? It's pretty easy to follow.
Yes.
Some people said that the music is not memorable, and I think it truly was because the cast.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. I was walking out of there and I was like, I need to hear these songs over again because like the one part that I can like think of is stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm. Which
Yeah.
one?
I had, hold on, I don't know the names of them, but
Because
again,
Dez's voice, like for those of you guys that have never seen the show, to give you kind of a breakdown of performance, you've got Helen and Darren, and they're essentially the main performers of the show. You have, oh God, why my brain is blanking on his name. Marcus Choi, right?
yes.
Marcus Choi, who plays like multiple characters throughout the journey, kind of helps guide the show along. It's like, oh, you look like this guy. It is. But then Des comes out. My brain tonight is not working. The name of the singer, Amber?
Gil Brentley.
Thank you. Comes out and he has the most. Are you playing something?
I tried to open up the album and it opened up a song.
I love it. But he has the most velvety smooth voice.
He truly does.
And I loved it. And yeah, Chris is like, what? I'm obsessed with the Maybe Happy Ending cast recording. Oh my God, it's so beautifully written. Yes. But when it first came out, people were like, oh, I don't even remember a song from it, blah, blah, blah. The Reddits were blowing up. And I'm like, y'all are wrong. The show is special. Is it a big, flashy Broadway show? No.
Right.
Does it have so much heart and soul of it? And you're just like, oh my God, yes. Is there an intermission? No. It's close to 2 hours. Will you hear sniffles throughout the entire audience? Yes. Amber almost like
I cry listening to it, like in the car.
Yes. Well, but I'm
Every
saying
day.
when we were at the show, there were still people on their damn phones.
Yeah.
And like, guys, shut the damn phones off. If you need it on for an emergency, totally understand. But like that show specifically needs your focus and you should not want to take any kind of attention away from it. It's beautifully done. There's especially now with the cast recording, a lot of people are like, did they or didn't they? And there's a lot of questions to be kind of left open. And our friend Sebastian wrote like this beautiful review about it. And like, he cannot stop questioning, did they or didn't they?
And I think that it's going to be different each performance. And that is the beauty of live theater.
I agree. It's a special moment. Enjoy it. Shut the damn phones off.
Right.
And enjoy it. Yes.
I went and saw The Wiz at my local theater, and I was sitting, the tickets were comped because I am a volunteer usher. So because I was working a shift, I got comped tickets to another show. So I didn't get to choose the seats. So they were in the balcony. But from my seat, I could see people in the orchestra on their phones texting the whole time. And you bet at intermission, I told someone, orchestra,
yes, ma'am.
left side, there are people on their phones the whole time. Can you please have the ushers keep an eye out for them, please?
Well, and that's why everybody wants the yonder bags. And, I get it. To overshare with everybody, my stepfather is like in ICU right now. He's essentially been on and off hospice care since last July. Literally when I went to go see The Notebook, they had said like, oh, hey, by the way, like call your family because my mom was like, you might have to leave New York early and come home. And like, that was devastating. And I still turn off my phone. I turned it on at intermission. There was a lady scrolling the whole time. We remember that episode. But the yonder bags, you lock them, you get them back at intermission, you unlock them. You don't need your phone during the show. If you need your phone during the show and there's an emergency, probably don't see a Broadway show. If you're already there, just be respectful. Like Amber and I have talked about the Apple Watches.
Right. Like if you're expecting an emergency during the next 2 hours, you probably shouldn't be going into a show.
Right. Well, but we talked about the Apple Watches and like, I can't tell you, I was talking to one lady, I think an Outsiders, very nice people. And we were talking about, it was at Ed & Juliet. And she's like, yeah, I just turned my watch off. And I said, no, there's a theater mode. I don't have an iPhone. Amber does. And Amber has an Apple Watch. There's a theater mode that turns that shit like dark, right?
Yeah. So when you have an iWatch, like every time you turn it,
every freaking time
the light turns on. when you put it on theater mode, it stays black unless you physically press a button.
Yep. Which I think, put it on, guys. It doesn't cost anything. It's part of it.
It's free. It's a free feature.
It's a free feature.
It's a bonus feature on your
It's free, it's for me. But yeah, so we saw Maybe Happy Ending, and like I had seen it, so I knew what to expect. I still got a little emotional, but not crying. The minute that I turned and Amber had like tears, I was like, "Oh God, you're gonna make me cry."
I cried when they fell in love. I cried when they fell out of love.
Spoiler alert. But yes, go listen to the cast recording on Spotify. It is really beautifully done. I definitely think it's a contender for best.
I think if it doesn't win, I will riot.
I don't know, because we have a lot of other contenders. Like I think Swept Away could.
True.
Even though it's short-lived. True. Death Becomes Her, your favorite, Sunset Boulevard. You've got Gypsy.
Sunset Boulevard can't run because it's
that's right. It's like Sunset and Gypsy can't run because they'd have to run for best revival. But Death Becomes Her can. Boop can. Boop's getting a huge response. Huge. Smash. I mean, there's a lot. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so we did that, and then we left and we went to go hang out at Schmackery's with Olivia. Oh, Barbara. Yes, Barbara. She goes, never knew about that theater mode. I watched. Good to know. Girl, that's what we're here for. We're here to educate. We had yummy cookies at Schmack's. I had the Field of Dreams. They happened to be doing a buy one, get one for International Women's Day. So Amber wound up with like 4 cookies. I got 2 cookies. Olivia got a couple of cookies. We were having a good time. I know we talked about it last week where like the one daughter was like, oh yeah, we got a dozen last night. We're going to get another dozen. It's great.
But they were like 10 minutes late for the buy one, get one. Unfortunate for them.
That happens, but that's what you have to follow social media for.
It's true. It's true. We did not tell them that they missed it either.
No, but it's either follow social media or follow the Broadway fan club because we posted it. Sure did. We're all over it. People ask about like, why should I follow a fan group? Like, I don't need to. And I'm like, you don't need to, but like, we have so much insider info. Like if we find something out, everyone's like, oh, is Adam Lambert going to be in the show? Well, we're going to post it the minute we find out if there's an understudy going in.
Right. Absolutely.
For like 3 days this past week, everyone's been losing their minds because Adam's had the flu. And someone's like, why did Adam leave Cabaret completely? We're like, he didn't. He's sick. He's sick.
Yeah. So many Cabaret cast members are sick. I think they posted there was one night they were out with 9 members.
And that flu is hitting everybody. So that's what hit. Oh my God, what was just closed?
Gypsy.
It was Gypsy. And what else? Something else closed last night.
Smash
was one that was out. And everyone's saying that Idina is sick as well. I mean, when we talked to her, she was a little bit under the weather, but she was good about it. But it's so damn cold. Jeffrey, understudies.org. Yes, we love them. But sometimes Amber and I make that announcement first because we found out sooner.
I'm a trusted user on understudies.org. So I will then go in and report to understudies.org.
Yes.
However, I make our announcement. I make our announcements first.
And every time she announces it before understudies.org, she messages me.
Then I post it to understudies.org.
But she'll message me. She's like, haha, I beat them to it. It's fantastic. I cracked the case.
So I do it for all of us.
All of us. We put the fun in dysfunctional. But yeah, so we went to go see Redwood.
We did go see Redwood, and I was worried because I had heard so many good things about Maybe Happy Ending. I was like, am I going to
be disappointed by?
Am I going to be like not disappointed, but like, are these two shows? Am I not going to be as wowed? Am I not going to be like as floored by Redwood? And I have to say, I really, truly enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
In a different way, of course, than Maybe Happy Ending.
And I think our audience interaction also contributed to a little bit of off-putting. So do you remember what happened?
No.
You don't remember what happened 45 minutes into the show?
Oh, yes.
So first off,
Now
there
I
was a girl
do.
sitting like directly between me and Amber down one row because again, it's raked. And those seats are not bad. I will say for someone with long legs, it was a little bit crampy. But you can see everything because you're just looking down.
And this is another show with no intermission. Another like 100-minute show.
I think it's
So,
longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very physically demanding on them. But yeah, so we're like watching these people, like, not even kidding, guys. They are straight up scrolling on their phones, and you're like, please stop that. Can you please put that away? Or like, oh, the lady next to me, she was very sweet, but I had to say something, and I cannot believe I'm about to put this out on the podcast. This very nice older woman with her hair, she had it was long. So my hair is pretty long. Her hair was like maybe down to her stomach. And she was doing this for about 10 minutes. When I'm telling you, taking the hair, going through it, finding the hair that was coming out. I don't have any hair in my hand. And like dropping it on my freaking knee. And yes, Christopher Levy said something earlier about me being a germaphobe. Don't do that. And I said to her after a few minutes of like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to try to listen to Adina because she's belting her freaking face off. Like, I want to.
And it's like such an emotional story.
I was going to say, it's such an emotionally powerful show. My cameras were all weird now. Very powerful, serious show. Beautifully done. Prepared to be like, oh. But I finally turned to her. I said, I'm so sorry. Are you almost done? And she looked at me. I thought I was about to have my face slapped. She looked at me. She goes, oh my God, loudly. Oh my God, I just got a massage and she tangled my hair and I'm trying to get the tangles out because if it dries out, then it's going to dry like this. And I looked at her. I said, okay, great. She's having a whole conversation while freaking Adina Menzel is belting. And I'm like, okay, but then like 5 minutes later, she goes, okay, thank you so much for saying something. Guys, I'm going to empower you. Be that bitch, be that Karen, be that Chad. I don't care. Don't be rude to people. But if there's something that instead of, we see it all the time, and Amber and
I forgot. And then the girl next to me taking photos, it's all coming back to me now.
Yes.
It's all coming back to me.
2 people down. Homegirl had her phone out on full brightness. Bloop. This is my phone. Bloop. Camera. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, And I was like, Amber. Because I'm like, I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to be that person. And I looked over, I said, please don't do that. And she's like, click. And I was like, really, please don't do that. Because the only problem or challenge, I'll say challenge, that I'm struggling with, and Amber, maybe you can kind of enlighten us a little bit because you do volunteer at the theater. When there's a show without intermission, you can't say to, an usher, hey,
right,
you're doing this. You can either do it at the end of the show or you have to get up in the middle of the show, distract everybody, and go do something. Or you have to hope that the ushers are freaking straight down. Right. I know with Sweeney, they were pretty narrowed in because it was such a dark show. Phantom, forget it. There's still that story about that lady that was recording the canal, the boat scene, and I wanted to murder her on her iPad. But 45 minutes into the show, now we're about halfway through the show at this point, maybe a little bit less than halfway. You've now missed the whole plot of the story. And you're just like, oh, Idina Menzel is like, on a tree on bungees. And you're like, you have no idea. This butthead guy, all of a sudden the usher comes down, we save a light, and we're like, oh, what the hell's going on? This guy, 6 of us had to stand up in a very emotional scene, and home dude is just taking his sweet time, strolling across the step, and then everyone's feet.
Excuse me, pardon me.
I didn't even get an excuse me. He stepped straight on my foot, and he's like, oops.
Yeah.
It takes it away. And again, I'm not going to tell people what to do, but probably don't show up to a show 45 minutes late, especially if it's like a 2-hour show with that.
Right.
Just be respectful.
You missed it. You missed the show.
Or
you missed the show.
That show, that theater also has standing room. Go friggin' stand in standing room.
Right.
All right, I'm venting. I'm bitching. I'm sorry.
But I was like I said, I was genuinely concerned because I had heard the content was a little jarring in
yes.
Redwood, and I was worried, but I left the theater being like, wow, this was done so beautifully.
And probably the most well-behaved stage door.
And another show that I sobbed at.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I sobbed.
I want to read. Francis posted something.
I agree. I wanted to read that too.
Okay, so Francis Brack says, and I'm so sorry, Francis. Okay, so horror story last night in the mezzanine of & Juliet. So I'm going to first off say that theater is one of my favorite. It's a Sondheim theater. If you go to that theater, look at the elevator. This is not a joke. The elevator is bigger than some studio apartments, and it's so cool. So horror story last night in the mezzanine of & Juliet. A drunk girl threw up on like 8 people. It was pretty bad, and the interruptions were insane because they kept coming in and out, trying to figure out whether they could clean it, and then grabbing all the puke-covered clothes and going in and out for about 15 to 20 times. First off, Francis, I'm sorry that happened to you.
That
Secondly,
sounds awful.
God, I hope that they gave you. I know the house manager there. Send me a message if you did not get a chance to get tickets for another show or they didn't give you a refund, please. They are incredible over at that theater. I'm going to be so direct with you. They are so incredibly good at that theater. This sounds like an extreme situation. Amber had an extreme situation at the Wiz.
I did have an extreme situation at the Wiz with my comped tickets.
Yes, somebody had a medical emergency. That was not fun.
Someone had a seizure in my section,
so and you had to go back and see it again. Oh no, your favorite show again. But
I know, I saw it 2 more times.
How unfortunate. But Francis, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, learn how to not you, Francis, clearly, but learn how to like not overdo it, guys. You don't need to be drunk to see a Broadway show.
You don't. It's not.
And you don't need to be high. I mean, don't get me wrong. To each their own. But I still remember the guy that was smoking his vape pen at the Notebook. Inside.
Inside?
Yes, do you remember that? Do you remember the guy? He was like, him and his girlfriend were there. He didn't want to be there. He was scrolling on his phone and smoking his vape pen.
That's too much.
That was way too much. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, Francis, seriously, if they didn't do anything to rectify that situation, please contact us directly. I'll take care of it. Yes. And Jeffrey says in Redwood, she is barefoot in the tree climbing number. She has like a barefoot pad.
Right.
So for all intents and purposes, yes, there's no support. It's just covering her foot. Let me tell you guys, that show, I know that she went out and they studied stuff. They also went up north. What were you saying, Amber? They went up north for like a sabbatical, right?
I think so, yeah.
They're working so hard on the show. And the cast, most of the cast came from Dear Evan Hansen, so they're used to dealing with like dramatic stories. Adina's vocals, like to hear those live, sends just straight chills to your spine. It's so beautiful. It's not a traditional story. It's not told traditionally, but to me, it was like, it's a Broadway show that's so intimate that it doesn't feel like you're on Broadway. It just feels like you're enveloped in the story. There's some really touching, beautiful moments. There's some like super scary, crazy moments. But a lot of people are saying, so the set design is really fascinating. They did an incredible job with it. They have like these digital screens that kind of go around the back of the theater. And there's this massive redwood tree, literally, in the middle of it. And the reveal of it is beautiful because it's a digital screen on the other side. So you're watching them, and the entire cast is up and down. And I'm not going to give anything away. You guys have probably seen some of the clips now, but Adina is literally like somersaulting and doing like these beautiful aerial silk moves with just a string and rock climbing here, rock climbing there. Same thing. And singing live.
Upside down.
What?
Upside down
singing and spinning. And you're like, how are you doing this? It's a lot, guys. But again,
and it almost feels like with the set, like I want to compare it to like a Disney like ride like thing where you are like watching a show, but like the the set is like the video is like coming at you, where it's like almost 3-dimensional, but it's not quite 3-dimensional. Like
Okay.
it feels like
I
it
live.
wants.
Disney is
I
right
know.
there.
Like it feels like it wants to be a ride, but it's not quite like a ride because you're in a theater. You know what I mean? Like it's
The seats don't move. That'd be
right. You're
cool.
not moving at all in any
No, but
way.
it kind of takes you along the journey because
It does. If you feel the movement of the show very
yes.
well.
Yes. And there's like a breathing moment, and it's like really interesting what she's doing for vocals, but the screen is moving in a different way. Like, I'm gonna tell people this is not a show to do drugs before.
No. No.
It will mess, I do not do drugs. I do not endorse those, but I'm just gonna say for anybody that does those and enjoys them, that's okay, but probably not the best show to do that with. But we were very fortunate. We hauled butt out of there. Not fortunate for that, but we hauled butt to get over to the stage door. Because that was utter chaos, is how many people were standing there.
Oh my God, I have a picture.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. While you pull that up, I'm going to read through some of the comments. So, Francis, yes, I agree. The behavior is insane these days at the prices. I can't take it anymore. It's entitlement. People feel that they can pay those kind of prices. They can do whatever the hell they want. And I think that that's where we lose a lot of people. Cheyenne says, don't apologize. There's no excuse on her part. I agree. Ushers do have different rules at each show. Yes, Jeffrey, but at the same time, the traditional rule is no video footage, no photography, no phone usage. Did you send it to me on Messenger?
I did.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that's only one side of it too. So
you told me to take a picture of that. I distinctly remember.
Utter chaos. Yeah, I was like, because I have another reason for why we're talking about this. Then I don't know if you guys you can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys, closely put your face up to your screen, whatever you're watching it on. This was half of the stage door. Guys, I'm going to very specifically state, don't be dicks and block in a car. This is why I had Amber take this picture. This is Adina's vehicle, okay? There is a wall, and I'm not saying like 2 people thick. Guys, this wall went all the way over to the backside of Aladdin and down the street. It is a live, active street. This is not shut down. Broadway is not a mall where you can just stroll along. There are real cars on the road, and you do not block in Adina's vehicle or anybody's vehicle. I know they've tried doing that with BB's vehicle over at Cabaret. I know they did that with Daniel Radcliffe when he was doing Merrily, and they were like throwing stuff at his car because he wasn't signing stuff.
Right.
Don't be dicks. But don't be dicks. So that was the only part of it where I was like, maybe not the best stage tour, but everybody was well behaved and nice, and the performers came out except one of them, 2 of them.
Yes, except Kalia.
Right. They all came out and took time with everybody. And Amber and I were so extremely fortunate that Adina came over pretty quickly to us, and we let her know about the fan group, and she was just so beyond impressed and so sweet and thanked us for doing that, helping to support the show. And we talked about it because it was cold. It was probably about 20 degrees.
It was cold.
And the wind chill was crazy. And like there was still that whipping wind. And, they're coming out, guys. And I'm going to say this. I kind of just sound like an asshole tonight, but I'm going to be a broken record. Do not expect anybody to come out to the stage door. Don't. I was at the stage door with Ed and Julia, and people, we'll talk about the chanting of Darren Criss over at Maybe Happy Ending. I think we already talked about that on one of the episodes. But, there's people that chanting for Joey Fatone. First off, I couldn't care. I've known Joey for years. But Joey. And I'm like, he probably is not coming out. One of his best friends is backstage, and like there's a bunch of people, oh, fuck this. And I'm like, you cannot expect people to come out. The fact that 98% of the cast came out for Redwood, incredible.
Right.
Thank the performers. Thank you for being here. So we literally said, you came out in this weather and with your voice please take care of yourself. Thank you for coming out, but please save your voice. And she's not taking selfies. Darren's not taking selfies. I think that's smarter for a lot of people. Casey Lee got a lot of backlash because when she was doing Frozen, I was talking about this the other day with somebody. Casey Levy, who originated the role of Elsa on Frozen, I'll see her in a Broadway cruise in a couple weeks. 2 weeks from today. And she's in the new Lost Boys. I'm going to keep just loving it. But she came out and security very much was like, she's not doing selfies. She'll do some signatures, but she's not going to be able to get everybody else. She's a young child at home. She needs to protect from getting sick.
Right.
And that was before COVID. It was before COVID. So now consider cold weather. There's a flu and God only knows what else is going on. There's a bajillion people visiting the city with all sorts of different kind of cooties. And they're trying to protect themselves. Guys, don't get pissed off if someone does not come out.
Yeah, that same person that we were about to just talk about at the Maybe Happy Ending stage door
Yes.
literally asked Des if he could kiss him
Darren.
on the cheek in a selfie.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was like, will you take a selfie with me? And he was like, sure. And then he goes, and will you kiss me on the cheek?
No.
And he was like, no, I don't do that.
That's
like,
weird. I forgot about
please do not ask performers to kiss you on the cheek.
Or do anything. If you ask them to do a selfie, here's the only thing I've ever asked performers, and it's only because I was friends with them, like Kissy Simmons. I said, do you want to take a break? This was at Disney when she was doing Disney on Broadway a couple years ago at Epcot. And I said, do you want to do a regular photo? You want to do a funny face? And she's like, fuck yeah, I'll do a funny face. It was great. So I have a picture of us just sticking our tongues out and being ridiculous. And that was only because I asked, because I've known her. Do not go up to anybody and say, kiss me, or I'm going to put my arm around you, or can you like point to me? Like, guys, they're not puppets. They're
right.
human beings.
People.
They're humans. Well, this is going to be a long episode. Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. We got a lot more to talk about. Yeah, but this guy was like at Maybe Happy Ending. He was chanting, Darren, Darren. And I was like, yeah, it's a matinee. It's ice cold. He's probably not coming out. And if he comes out, he's not going to do selfies. Well, how do you know? We run the fan group. Also, I've seen the show and I know Darren. So, but that's okay. No, that guy was annoying as hell. All right, I'm going to do more stuff. Amber, what else did you want to talk about?
Actually, that was really it for me. I talked about. I mean, we skip news sometimes.
No, we need to go over this specific news.
What was the news?
The news from today? Actually, the two newses between Saturday and today.
I don't know. There's been several newses.
They both revolve around Cab.
That's all you.
All right, babies. Cabaret. Let's chat. Orville Peck. So freaking excited for him to come in. Even though Blazada to come in. Last week, everyone was like, oh my God, there's photos. We even posted the photo where it's like, it was just a shadow. We're like, do you think he's going to have a mask? I don't know. Maybe he's not going to have a mask. And we're like, oh, he's not going to have a mask. He's going to have a mask. Back and forth. It is official as of today, official news that Orville Peck is going to be maskless for Cabaret.
Right.
No mask.
No mask.
Which is incredible. We had a lot of people that were up in arms in the Cabaret fan group going, well, he should be wearing a mask. It's Orville Peck. No, he shouldn't. UMC, blah, blah, blah. Guys, no mask. So go in. Don't be dicks. Respect. I'm hitting my lamp. I'm so angry. Don't take photos. We had a member that decided to leave the group because they reached out to me, and I haven't even talked to Amber about this. Very nice, but also was like posting every day that Orville Peck is going to be here and doing this. And I'm like, please don't post where celebrities or people in shows are going to be that can open the door to being stalkers. So safety first. If you guys, and this goes for all shows across the board. I know Hillary Clinton used to go to Soft's all the time, and Angelina Jolie or whatever has been over at Outsiders. She's a producer. Guys, if you see a celebrity, whatever, somebody that you know that's famous, just sit down and relax. Like, I know some of our members sat down next to Jonathan Groff for a show. They were respectful. And yeah, if you're going to be that person, you're like, I need a selfie, or can you sign that? Sure. Like, don't be rude about it. But if you're going to sit there and like, just be a normal person, they're normal people. The amount of people that we know that are celebrities, they're just good at their jobs, guys. Like, they're good at their jobs. You've seen these incredible interviews that we've had with Gina and, Stephen Tewksbury and Noel McNeil and Jeff Calhoun. Like, these are big Broadway people. They are just like you and I, maybe even less crazy. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. But yeah, so Orville is blowing up Cabaret. Join the group if you guys want to see stuff. We are doing the best that we can to keep it up. Kate Canova is the marketing guru over there, and she is preggers, and I love it. But so excited to see what's going to happen with Cabaret, especially with the Orville crowd. The Glamberts, I hope, and Amber, I don't know how you feel. I think you do too. I hope the Glamberts stay.
Yeah, I hope they stick around.
Adam Lambert fans, they are diehards. I hope that they stay because I hope that they appreciated the show besides just seeing Adam perform or having the opportunity to meet with him.
Yeah.
But getting to our Sally Bowles, Eva Noblezada, officially a fiance. Her and Reeve Carvey Cardi, I cannot talk. Just announced their engagement Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that so many people are like, I thought they were already engaged or married or whatever. No, they've just been this incredible couple. They met while they were in rehearsals for Hadestown.
It was a showmance.
It was a showmance that just never went away.
Yep.
They are seriously couple goals. I've had the opportunity to meet with them multiple times. Reeve was on the Broadway cruise last year. And just so two genuinely delightful, wonderful people that deserve the absolute best. So congratulations to both of them on behalf of the Broadway fan club and our members. And if you want to talk about schmackeries, you can send them some cookies when, Eva is going over to Cabaret. You can backstage the cookies.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm reading through all of our comments. Everyone's going back and forth about, yes. Oh, Cheyenne, perfect. Bottom line, stage door is a perk for the audience that people need to treat it as such. I agree. And yes, Jeffrey says 98% of 5. It's true. Olivia, we're just going over bad theater etiquette at this point. Olivia says, I was at SUF. Someone next to me decided to take their shoes off and put their smelly feet on the seat. I was like, this is not your home or living room. Put your feet down. Oh, I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall, Olivia.
That's no good.
That's nasty. Well,
yeah,
and you
gross.
guys, I don't know if you remember the story that I told about Moulin Rouge a couple of months ago. Do you remember that story, Amber?
No.
I love Moulin Rouge. Love it. I have no shame. I was so excited to go. I was there. I had a good seat. This older guy and his girlfriend, wife, mistress, whatever, were like practically fornicating in the seats next to me. And he kept grabbing my body parts, not unbeknownst to him. So I had like my butt grab, my leg grab, my chest grab, my shoulder grab, my hair pulled. And I'm like, you clearly know this is not your female counterpart. That was very uncomfortable. I literally had to get up. I wound up watching 2 songs from the lobby because they have a screen there, thank God. And I was so grossed out. They got kicked out. People are nasty.
So weird.
Yes. Oh, Jeffrey says, if Eva does Kiss of the Spider-Woman, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman,
Yes, I love that.
Perfect. Kid star in Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, and I was very fortunate to see him. It's hysterical. And you say Eva, but then I think to Evita. Yeah, Evita was just announced.
Yes.
And Rachel Zegler is going to play Evita in the West End, so good for her.
Yeah,
I love it. She's doing Snow White. She's fresh off of Romeo and Juliet. I love it. Jeffrey Cohen, yes. In Moulin Rouge, do they still have on-stage seats? They have a can-can, which is traditionally where the orchestra seats are, so your eyes are at stage level. Yeah. But yeah, so Evita got announced, and then we announced about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Last week. I'm trying to think if there's any other big news. Jonathan Larson Project officially had their opening. Go see that show now. Go see it. You don't even have to be a fan of Rent. I am, but go see it. It's beautifully done. It's at the Orpheum. It's in the Village. Go see it. It's a small theater. You're going to love it. I love it. So, anyways, anything else I'm missing as I'm rambling?
I think that's pretty much it. We have some openings. I want to say,
Boop and
no, the last 5 years starts tomorrow, opens tomorrow. I want to say,
well, Good Night and Good Luck just opened as well.
Good Night and Good Luck just opened. Oh my gosh, It's on the tip of my tongue. Buena Vista, maybe.
Buena Vista's social club.
Yes, or
Which I'm
Real
hearing amazing
Women.
things about, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yes, or Real Women Have Curves. Maybe one of those two
I
are
haven't seen
opening.
anything about that show.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But yeah, it's definitely like season. Like I specifically went the dates that I wanted to, so I could finish off my season, so that when I go back at the end of April to go see the Swept Away reunion concert, because I love those boys. I am planning on seeing like all new shows.
mm-hmm.
So excited. And then I'll give myself a month break, and then I'm going to come back up for the Tonys. So
Awesome.
yeah. So, well, thanks for hanging out with us an extra 16 minutes, everybody. Again, to do some housekeeping. If you want to see what groups we are running, please don't hesitate to go over to the website. Again, it's thebroadwayfanclub.com. That'll take you to our pages. That'll take us to you to our groups. You can even contact me and Amber through there. You can look at our media kit if you're looking for that kind of stuff as well. Lots of exciting things coming down the pike that are going to happen. I'm literally going to be on the Broadway cruise in 2 weeks. I am almost done. Tomorrow is the day that my Audrey 2 Bob Mackie inspired evening gown should be 99.9% complete. Carrie is almost done. Amber, you frozen. Oh, you look so tired. But yes, so follow for more, like and subscribe. So you can find us right here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and syndicated over to Spotify. Soon we'll be announcing our new distribution partner for episodes. If you have any suggestions for shows, make sure that you stay tuned to our socials. We're going to be announcing our Patreon, and you will be able to actually pick the topics for our shows. If you are looking for a fun gift or some new accessories, make sure you check out the BroadwayFanClub.etsy.com. Amber, do you have your Pile O bracelets? They're right in front of you on the shelf.
They're very far away.
Directly below Amber's body is her table where all the bead crafting happens, and there's so many beads. But please go and check out the over 100 designs. If there's something that you want custom, something you want to see, go check it out. We have our collaboration with Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, where $1 from each one of those bracelets goes directly to the foundation. But yeah, help support us to support you guys. We're going to be doing some really awesome giveaways coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. But definitely come and hang out. If you're going to be on the Broadway cruise, please hit me up. We'll be doing a meetup for alumni of the cruise itself. And then I would love to get a Broadway fan club meetup going as well. So I'm super excited. So many photos coming. But that also means in 2 weeks, there will be no show because I'm going to be bye-bye for the entire week. You guys get a break. It's like our hiatus. But
it's true.
Definitely check it out. Support us. Hopefully Amber doesn't have an ear infection. Hopefully my neurologist can figure out.
Yeah, wish me luck. I'm going to the ENT tomorrow.
No. I wish you all the luck. My doctor's appointment with my neuro is Wednesday. So hopefully you'll have luck at yours and I'll have luck at mine. And I'm getting my hair fixed. On Wednesday because it is, y'all, I'm saving you from the bright red that my hair is right now. So I'm sitting almost in the dark. But please stay tuned. Let me check the comments one more time. I like our little random episodes. They're so much fun. Here we go. Christopher Levy says, Roman Have Curves just went into tech this week. That will be a bit. OM opens on Thursday. Okay, perfect. And then Jeffrey says, have a good week. Thank you. You too, Mr. Cohen. You too. And remember, guys, every Monday night right here, you can catch the Broadway Fan Club podcast because when Broadway is dark, we are not. We keep that ghost light burning. So join us next week. We might have a special guest joining us. You'll find out more. Amber's going to fall asleep if I don't end the podcast now. So I hope you guys all have a good week.
All right.
Happy St. Patty's Day. Wear some green, guys. Go drink some green beer. Have some corned beef and cabbage and have a good night. Ciao for now, everybody.
Bye, y'all.